And with the Chilcot inquiry due to publish its results in the next few weeks, the Iraq War and Tony Blair are set to continue making headlines for the foreseeable future. Oh, it's like a gag reflex, isn't it? Tony Blair. Tony Blair. It's onomatopoeic, Blair. I hate that man more than I hate anyone ever. I hate him more than my wife's new lover, otherwise known as my son's new daddy. Yeah, ex-wife, yeah, thanks Tim. Did you see Blair's interview the other week where he said Jeremy Corbyn's leadership is a very dangerous experiment? Really? What's more dangerous, having a socialist in charge of a supposedly socialist party, or lying to the public and taking the country to a catastrophic war in the Middle East? It's a tough one, that, isn't it? He's a sociopath, Blair, and he's a liar. He lies about it. I have seen firm evidence of weapons of mass destruction. Really? Where? Up your arse? Oh, well, Bush says he's got a hunch. Oh, okay, well, let's forget the UN and go to fucking war. Let's wreak havoc. War! Half 500,000 people died in that conflict. Now, as far as I'm aware, Jeremy Corbyn is responsible for 0 deaths, whereas Blair is responsible for 500,000, and yet he calls Corbyn dangerous. Is that supposed to be some sort of joke? And then he leaves office and literally makes millions of pounds by becoming a peace envoy to the Middle East. I mean, the man is either a psychopath or a comedy genius. I mean, he is a clever man. He did get elected 3 times by essentially making Labour a right-wing party. And that's 500,000 deaths aside, is his legacy. Because you now have this ridiculous situation where both main parties are right-wing. One is led by a right-wing pigfucker, and the other is led by a left-wing socialist. So you've got a left-wing leader of a right-wing party, the parliamentary membership of which don't want him there. They would rather have Blair or someone else like him back. They'd have him back in a heartbeat. They'd rather have a liar than a socialist, because it's easier to get elected if you're a liar rather than a man of integrity. Corbyn is the antithesis of Blair because he says what he thinks and he doesn't filter it through some sort of mental PR filter. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you think of his policies, he's not thinking about what will win votes. He just says what he thinks, unless he's talking about the EU. But that's another time, Tim. But I mean, Blair lies about everything. He lied about his Catholic faith for the entirety of his premiership. Isn't there something in the Bible about not bearing false witness? Obviously Blair thought God didn't really mean that one, which is weird because God etched it into a stone tablet, which to me suggests that was pretty much a final draft. And there's also something, if I'm not much mistaken, about thou shalt not kill 500,000 people, for example. I honestly believe that Tony Blair should go to prison for what he did, but he's not going to. But the good news is that according to his faith, he is definitely going straight to hell. And that is the best news I've had in a long time. Fun times. Should we go again? Yep. Well, the Iraq inquiry has been making headlines for years.